The people of Burgundy are not happy about the direction of their country as of lately. Following the conclusion of the Great War against Western European nations, France, Spain and Italy, the people of Burgundy rose up in revolt following communistic ideals, chanting the death of the monarchy. It has gone too far. We have lost too many men in pointless wars to gain additional land. It is a different time nowadays. That's not how things should happen. And perhaps they are right, perhaps they are not. Burgundy is currently under siege by a massive communist revolution, and it is up to the 8th Army to save the entire monarchy, to save the entire realm from falling into communist hands. We have 30,000 men on the Armée d'Alsace that is ready to help out. Fortunately, all of their paths to the capital is blocked by communist insurgency. The only hope rests with the 8th Army that has a clear path to the capital through Saarbrücken, Trier, Aachen, Maastricht, Eindhoven and then into Anvers. That is if they can clear themselves from this Burgundian communist, the 30th Burgundian Red Guards, which hopefully they can do soon. They are chewing down through them rapidly. Meanwhile, there is some recruits that are trying to defend the capital as well as they possibly can. They are putting up a good fight so far. And the only good thing to come from it is that they are delaying the inevitable. Delaying the communist upheaval. And now we have gone under infamy and suddenly everyone wants to be allies with us again. And I guess we can do that for the moment being, for the time being. There we go, we won our first batch of victories and we will order this army to head for the capital immediately. Because the worst thing that can happen in these scenarios is simply that, well, they take over the capital and then after 2 weeks you have a new government. And almost all of our soldiers are part of various nationalistic or ideological movements, such as mostly fascism really, which I guess makes sense. Armenia offers us an alliance, I guess that is fine too. We'll put all of our armies on trying to root out the communists. We have a lot of troops in the south that are ready to deal with it. And while it looked massive, it is being shored up now. The capital is safe, the government is safe, the king is safe. There's no risk for anything to change. Though it is a lesson to be learned that the people of Burgundy is not happy, and there's a lot of fascists that are holy God. Is there any reforms that we have left to do? Nothing that people are willing to pull through anyway. But look at that! That is a massive amount of brigades. 6.1 million people are sympathizing with the fascism, with the fascists that currently hold the hearts of 8% of the voters, yet about 10% of them are willing to join a movement like that. And 800 brigades out of a whopping possible 2,106 brigades are ready to strike up. They have a really high revolt risk, they have a good power and it's increasing rapidly. I think it's safe to say that Burgundy will fall to fascism, not communism. And there's very little that we can do about it. I mean, sure, we are stronger than they are. That's just the thing. We could probably defeat them eventually. But there's just so many of them. So many. Holy crap. That war hurt Burgundian morale really hard. Now they're up towards of 1,000 brigades and counting. Yeah, 1,004 brigades, 1,032 brigades, 28, 44, 50. Each day it's increasing rapidly. Yeah, soon 1,100. There we go, over 1,100 brigades ready to rise up. Meanwhile, our armies are trying their best to root out the initial Burgundian insurgency. They're striking at the capital and, well, most of the Burgundian communists are being slaughtered now by the thousands. By the hundreds of thousands, really. But the fascists... This is starting to remind me a little bit of the Weimar Republic. Or post-war Germany, leading up to the fascists or Nazis taking over. The fascists and... well, it's not like... They're not really fighting against each other that much. But Footajalon. This Footajalon has a massive nationalism. We have a problem. It's potential that our war dragged on a bit too far. Our war exhaustion is, yeah, it's not great. Our infamy is ruining our war exhaustion reduction, and it's causing just a ton of issues. Villanagar now wants to have an alliance. It seemed once upon a time. Burgundy was hoping towards having, just a brilliant victory, and our armies are losing men. I think a lot of them must have been part of various armies. Because, holy crap. And now at 1500. We have lost a ton of soldiers in this. And now even more Burgundian communists have risen up. And now the Burgundian fascists yeah. You know about the whole fascism thing. It's apparently pretty great, I've heard from some sources. There's 806 rebel brigades in active revolt. That equals about 2.4 million men spread across the world, I presume. So yeah, that's less great. We are losing battles a bit everywhere. The entire country is just swarmed with revolts. I'm not seeing this as a good thing, you know. I think fascism will take over in our beautiful country. Our armies in Europe are being reduced. A lot of them had fascist sympathizers in them and have now lost strength to a great degree. You look at the pre-revolution armies and now compared to this, our armies are tiny in Europe compared to how they were before. Fascism is severely taking over. I've never actually seen this massive amount of reduction in armies at once. Because sure, it was an opportunistic strike against France, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like we were on our third war or anything. But that took this toll really quickly. And now Burgundian fascists have risen again, even more than before. Now we have over 1,000 brigades of fascists ready to strike, and they're getting more strength on top of this. There's 20,000 men that are trying their best to protect the capital. We will withdraw all the forces that are available to us to the capital for a final defense. It's not a lot, I might add. It's not a lot of men at all that are capable of doing so. Head towards the capital instead of going where you're trying to go. You as well. Maastricht. If we were smart about it, probably should leave the capital alone and no, go for Eindhoven. Alright, Burgundian people, I get it, you don't want to have this current government. I understand that you got to hear about the coup. It got out into the public and everyone got really, really mad that the king was trying to take power. That democracy was a sham. I get it, you don't like that. But you should really just calm down. Please. It's not nice to do this against us. This will be the death of massive amounts of industries, which equals that subsidies will have to be put on in order to maintain them, because otherwise they will be reduced to level 1 again and we have to build them up bit by bit. It just takes too much time. Alright, we have 175,000 men over there, but they're closing in fascists all around us. There are even some communists that are spread around. In the south we have some forces that are trying their best to maintain any kind of order. I think it's best to simply take these forces and wait it out. These are the last remnants of the current regime forces, loyal. And frankly, we are already losing enough as it is. Yet we have... I mean, these are really experienced troops as well. Would be a shame to lose them all. Yet we have lost so many. We have 54,000 men that are defending the capital against the fascists. It will be a brilliant last stand. Perhaps it will be enough. Probably won't. This is the southern army. What's left of it. what's left of the southern armies, I might say. They don't even add up to... They add up to exactly one regular army. And there used to be like, what, 5, 6, 7 maybe? I should probably pull back these forces too. They're way too experienced in order to lose them in such simple, pointless combat. Anyone that is recruited should head there immediately. Such great hopes were there in the world before, in Burgundy, before all of this happened. Now we would turn around towards the east to fight against the Nubian Confederation. In turn, it ended up being the death of Burgundy, with 1,000,000 men, 1,000,000 rebels attacking 46,000 brave, loyal Burgundian men and women that have taken up. They barricaded the doors, they barricaded the streets leading up to the king's palace, and trying to fight back at every turn. Everyone is helping out against this massive force. Unfortunately, we also have what looks like Dutch nationalists in the north, which would make more sense to retreat with these forces and focus on the Dutch nationalists so we don't lose part of our country as part of this revolution. And that is exactly what the men will do. The king ordered them to save the realm. It's better that the realm stay united than that he is the one that rules it. He doesn't want to rule a disjointed kingdom. He doesn't want to be the end of the kingdom. He'd rather leave up to someone else to take over. But just don't lose parts of it. So what we need to do is defeat a great deal of men with very limited means of our own. We have 42,000 men over here, 45,000 men now, against just a crap ton of them. And meanwhile, an expedition sent out before, completely unaware of what's going on in the homeland, is over there. Okay, we have 48,000 men. They need to navigate through a hostile territory in order to reach to the north of the country and help out against the revolutions happening up there. We can't let the Dutch escape and form their own country. It's unacceptable. And if the fascists had any sense, they would go immediately and help out against that. Well, we would hope at least. Alright, we defeated one set of rebels. We will head up to Amsterdam immediately and try to... Oh god, Bihari nationalists? Seriously? Bihar. Where was Bihar again? Oh god, over here? Didn't even know we had any problems over here, honestly. If I'd known that, we'd probably do something about it. And a lot of men were lost from Bihar becoming independent. Yeah, that's a lot of men, holy crap, just look at all of these. I did not pay attention to that at all. Things are just collapsing all around. Is it going as bad in Africa? No, thankfully not. But at the same time, we'll probably put these men on high alert in case it actually does end up being bad on here. Africa seems to be the only stable part of this realm left. Unfortunately, these forces are having some issues in maintaining order, and there's no way to reach them effectively. Though the fascists are clearing out of Cleves at the moment. Cleves is occupied by Burgundian fascists. Now we have militant socialists spreading. Just join into the pile. The government will soon break. It is destined to happen. There's no way for... Oh, there we go. We get attacked by Dutch nationalists. There's even more Dutch nationalists nearby. Can they fascists just break the country already so we can move on with our lives? This is starting to become a bit painful. The World's Fair venue, sure, we will host it. It's not like the whole country is besieged by rebels or anything. No. We will host it. Don't worry. Battle of everywhere. Battle Kutak. The loyal forces are suffering enormous losses trying to maintain order in the northern part of the realm. Or at least doing their best. They are doomed. They know they're doomed, but they're still fighting. To the last man. Trying to make sure that there's a Burgundy left afterwards too. So anything happening down... Oh god, this is where militant socialists end up. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. This is horrible. Same thing here. We don't have enough forces in this region to actually do anything about these guys. I guess we'll have to do what we have. These are all that we have. These are all that can do something about it. And just strike against whatever you can. Our whole realm is collapsing. Burgundy, once the greatest power in the world, following just rebellions after rebellions after rebellions. Now following a coup by the leader to take over the land. And after the following war after that, the country has descended into chaos. Just utter chaos. There's 2 million Burgundian fascists in the capital celebrating their victory. Completely oblivious to the fact that the country that they want to take over and that they want to rule is in fact collapsing around them. Instead of pledging allegiance to their homeland, they are leaving it in shambles. Leaving it up to the remnants of the royal army to shore up defenses and defend Amsterdam. I accidentally went into... I thought something had happened and we changed color to green. And it was just going into terrain map mode. There we go. With additional reinforcement, it looks like Amsterdam will not fall to anyone at all. It is being defended to the last man. Okay. This is where I'm starting to be a bit annoyed, right? There's 3 million men now. 3 million Burgundian fascists that is sitting squarely in Anvers, the capital of Burgundy, doing absolutely nothing. Alright, so here I'm fine with the fascists actually taking over the country. What happens? They don't take over the country. If it was, for example, say, 10,000 communists that somehow ended up exactly on Anvers and there was no one nearby, I would immediately send an army to head up there. They managed to siege it down somehow, and the army defeats the communists. They are 99% away from occupying it completely and thus saving the country from communist revolution, and then immediately it switches over. That always happens. That always happens when you don't want it to happen. When you siege it down, there's no other communist in the entire country, but they somehow manage to take over the capital. That's when the switch happens immediately. That's when it happens within a week of it being captured, maybe even a few days. Now it takes months. It takes absolutely months just to... The game almost knows that and wants to see you destroyed utterly. All I want is for the main rebellion, the fascists, to end, so we finally can build up some armies and take out the other revolutions. Because they conveniently forgoes to do anything about them. Apparently, in a fascist sensibility, it's better to sit in the capital with everyone instead of defeating, the militant socialists or the communists or people who wants to separate from you. Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens. Well, now we need to take out Bihar again. Thankfully, Bihar is just an uncivilized nation. So it won't be that difficult to do. Assuming we can get back our forces and reorganize all of this. Thankfully, Amsterdam is now saved. There we go, the new Burgundian order, it finally happened. Fascist elements have taken over the Burgundian government and their influence is felt both here and abroad. Their leadership has already begun to institute widespread changes in the government, while crowds cheer from the central square in Anvers, where there were 3 million men before, and now, of course, we don't get any of those men, and we have 227,000 men left of a variety of origins. They're completely fine, just leave the communists to be in rebellion. Alright, we are now led by Burgundian fascists. We are called the Directorate of Anvers, in honor of our main capital. Despite all of this, we're still the greatest power in the world, somehow. We have a new flag, it actually looks pretty nice, I gotta say. It's a pretty nice flag. And we immediately need to send these men to Anvers. Maybe should have mobilized before, but now we will definitely mobilize, because we need to have every single man, woman and child heading towards Anvers immediately unless we want this to continue on this charade. We will create a secret police that will give us a lot more suppression points. And now we have the ability to knock out some reforms. We will go for good healthcare because that's just good in general, and hopefully it will calm down the people. Hopefully. There we go. We are getting some men, at least. We have Bengal that wants to offer us an alliance to the Directorate. The king has been thrown out. He's in exile. There's nothing for him left here in this part anymore. We have some issues over here with militant socialists. There's a risk that they will end up wanting this part to separate and become its own thing. So we do need to send some men over there to help out as soon as we possibly can. We will send these guys, 33,000 men. Victor de Peliki is doing a great job so far. Alright, we are defending now to the best of our abilities. Men and women are going from across the country in order to save from the remnants of the communist revolution. The ones that started the age of revolutions in Burgundian history. That eventually led to the fascist takeover. And it looks like the communists will be taken care of. The communist threat will be thwarted. And Anvers can finally be safe. Wouldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be great? We need no interference in Dahomey. No, we do not. What I'm surprised about is that our neighbor, the Nubian Confederation, has not utilized this opportunity to attack us. They are instead at war with the British Commonwealth, Russia and Prussia, for some reason. Okay, apparently we removed end of women's suffrage, apparently. It's not tolerated. So that's a thing. We need to save Flanders over here, Flanderen. And maybe we can do that. Maybe we can. Ghent. Let's have just some men go over here too. There we go. I think it should be safe for now. The rebellions that are left are minuscule. We have some Mughal nationalists that are forming. We have Jacobin rebels that are forming too. It's a bit scary how many there are. So what we will do to combat this is essentially just build a bunch of armies. A bunch of armies. Just look over here how many armies we can build. So we will start with forming, I think... it won't be enough just having this. We will have 6 armies. So that will be 6. Meaning we need 24 of these, so 54 in total. No, this is the wrong area. Damn it. 24. Come on, can I... It was 54, right? Great, and now we will have 6 light cavalry. There we go, we have 6 new armies being built in mainland Europe. 6 armies to bolster our defenses, to regain control of our borders, to regain internal security, and make sure that rebellions in the future won't be as powerful as those in your... so yeah, that's a thing. Jacobin rebels are still being encouraged. How about we get low subsidies for the unemployed? Perhaps that will combat them. See, just because you can't vote doesn't mean things can't need to be bad. Things are still pretty good. Things are still pretty darn good. It could be worse. For now we will still maintain the whole mobilization effort. Simply, and the only reason for that is to make sure that any rebellion will be met with extreme prejudice and destroyed. Armenia wants an alliance again. We probably have lost most of what we had before. We're still, as I mentioned before, the greatest power in the world. But I did not expect this to happen. We are now fascists. We are probably one of the first fascist countries in the world. And quite frankly, the Suez Canal was completed. So we gained Suez from Egypt, we built the Suez Canal, and we gained its effort and also some prestige and everything. So now we have that. Egypt continues to be our friend and ally, and also Sverling. Perhaps we can conquer them eventually and gain the benefits of them. Frankfurt am Main, that's completely fine, and Let's go with that too. Alright, it's 1910, September 24th, Directorate of Anvers. And from the Fascist Director to all of you, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good one.